Hello everyone, how are we today? I'm just gonna set this camera up just a little bit back, just so I can see you guys here today. How is everyone doing? I'm gonna give it just a few minutes for everyone to sign on and such, and we will get started right away. I hope that everyone's doing all right. We're going to be having some nice conversation today, folks. We're going to be having a little bit of a Q&A. So, yeah, for those of you that are interested, hang around. We're going to be getting started in just a few short minutes. I just want to have a nice conversation with you guys today about love, addiction, and mental health. So we're going to talk about this. For those of you that don't want to listen to important discussions about how we use energy and you would just like to read the energy, you're more than welcome to check out your mid-months. Hey, thank you. Yeah, for those of you that just want to check out the tarot card readings, those are up. They should all be live right now. So personal readings should all be in except for a couple. I'm sending the rest out tonight. So, folks, welcome to an episode of Solari Tarot. It is Greg again. Always Greg, popping in. Folks, I want to talk today about a very important topic that has been on my mind in my own life, own experiences lately, and I'm going to be taking some questions after this is all over and we have our nice discussion. But for those of you that read in the description, the title today, we're here today to talk about love addiction and love avoidance. Two very different things, of course, that sometimes we get caught up on when we are reading these energies each month or each week as we shift along the tarot card world. As we go on YouTube and we're looking for answers and we're looking to discover some things, perhaps there are some awarenesses that us tarot card readers talk to you about in our readings each month. Some of those things are things you may hear us say, like, folks, you gotta do the work. And I often get emails so often from you guys asking me, Greg, what is the work? You know, I've been single for a really long time, or, you know, I've been working on this project for a really long time. Whatever the case is for you, whatever's in stalemate, it's not manifesting, it's not coming through, it's been a long time. What does do the work mean? Perhaps we move into a place in our lives where we forget that doing the work isn't always just the physical part of it, but what we bring to the table in the process. So today, we're going to talk about a few touchy topics. Some of them could touch some soft spaces with you today. I hope that you realize that we are having a genuine, open discussion here. We're going to be discussing love addiction, love avoidance, and we're also going to be discussing bringing our best mental health to the table when using the online tarot community. I've been working on wanting to speak with you guys about this for quite some time. It's been on my mind. I've done a lot of personal readings for you guys lately, and also, as you know, with Hedwig finally closing and me taking the week last week to get reacquainted to my life and not being in character and just being back to normal. A lot of these issues have been coming up for me. They've been kind of bleeding into my personal relationships. So I thought this was a very appropriate time to start talking to you guys about mental health. So why are we here today? We're going to talk about when we're reading the energies online, how we're using them in our daily lives, specifically in the area of our love, our intimacy. With the Empress card today. So the only tarot card that you're going to see on this entire discussion today is the Empress. She's the only one we're going to be talking about today. Sometimes us tarot card readers can't really get down to the nitty-gritty and explain to you each energy as it so delicately presents itself in a reading. You know, we only have a few minutes to show you the situation or the energies generally that you're looking at. So today we're going to be using the Empress as our inspiration for this discussion today. I know some of you will log on, log off. I'm doing this live for you today so that I can answer some questions for you, and so that I can also, any of you can go back and watch this video whenever you have the convenience of watching it. So first off, I want to talk about what exactly is love addiction. We see this word and we probably think, oh God. Now, for some of you that are listening or tuning in today and you're starting this discussion with us, this could be any addiction that is present in your life. I'm going to be giving you guys some wonderful resources today to reach out with, wonderful books that you can read in the event that you may be feeling that you are involved in love addiction. We see a lot of this on the tarot community, folks. Look, from a very honest place, so many of us are looking for messages, and that's great. That's the reason that tarot card readers are here. We're certainly here to give you the messages that come through generally. Even when we're doing personal tarot card readings, we'll certainly read those energies for you. However, some of us are so intensely searching. It's spring again, guys, so all of the cars are driving by. If you've been part of the channel for a while, you know this. So we are so obsessed with the idea of finding our twin flame, or a soulmate, or in manifesting a love from our past. And perhaps the energies in our tarot card reading monthly seem to be insinuating that there is a very grand romance energy around us. That has been the case for so many of the zodiacs on the channel over the last few months. We're really seeing love heavy in so many signs. Opportunities available for love. Sagittarius is one of them. Scorpio is one of them. Taurus is one of them. Gemini is one of them. A lot of signs are moving into romance palace, you know, a lot of romance that's been in stalemate for a lot of people this year. We have wonderful cosmic energy moving into so many signs, allowing for great intimacies to take place. So then we ask ourselves the question, when is it going to be for me? When am I getting my special moment? When am I finding my other half? When am I getting this job that I want? Which brings us back to the beautiful Empress energy. So let's get started, folks, today with mental health. Mental health is something that is greatly studied, really, in our world today. Many people are suffering with mental health issues. We don't have to go into intense isms here. We don't have to necessarily go into something like schizophrenia. I'm talking about a very baseline anxiety that is present in our mental health in a very strange world that we live in today. Right? We're all very stressed out. We're all living in an era where stress seems to be the conduit, we think, for change. So if we just keep 10 of wandsing it, if we keep moving into the energy, just pushing ahead, letting whatever brush against us, cut us up, make us crazy, we go into the world so powerfully often that we very much so forget about the importance of our mental health. How are we affected in the tarot community when it comes to our mental health? Perhaps because so many of us are searching for messages, we're bouncing from tarot card reader to tarot card reader, some of the messages not even resonating, but we're still watching the videos, we're still kind of breathing in these energies. And then at the end of the day, I hear so many people say to me, Greg, I watch 10 tarot card readers in a day for a specific month, and I really don't exactly know what the hell is going on. Still, you know, there's so many energies, so many different tarot card readers have so many different things to say. We are in a Mercury retrograde right now, folks. So this can be a very challenging time for some of you. I know I've been getting emails, Greg, this Mercury retrograde is really messing with me. You know, I'm really feeling underwhelmed or discouraged, or I'm feeling very disappointed. You know, why are these wonderful things not happening for me? Then, when we question as to whether maybe we're broken, or maybe we're watching too much tarot, we start to mess with our mental health. So we listen to messages and we listen to somebody else's intuition. And then we receive that message. And then we ask ourselves the question of, where is my intuition though? Does my gut say this too? Not just my tarot card reader, not just all of these spiritual gurus in a way that we're watching on YouTube to get our answer. You see, there's an integration that must take place when it comes to the messages that we receive from the spiritual community into our own lives, in order for us to attract these things that we desire so much. Abundance, more money, a wonderful relationship, a twin flame, a reconciliation, the kinds of things that we really, really desire. Hey Rose, it's okay that you're a little bit late. No worries. We're just having a nice discussion. You really haven't missed much. Guys, listen, the National Institute of Mental Health says that an estimated 31% of US adults experience an anxiety disorder sometime in their lives. It's not quite half, but that is a lot of people. That's a lot of freaking people that are experiencing anxiety disorders. This doesn't even have to be a general baseline anxiety. Okay, we have a very stimulated world, overstimulated now, certainly, and frankly, more so than it's ever been. So, we are hyper connected now to our tarot card readers, right? To everyone, to our banks, to our employers, to our colleagues, to our close friends, to our potential lovers. We're very connected to everyone. So we move into a place where we're so connected in all of the wrong ways that we're actually using technology, right? Tarot, we're using YouTube to get our spiritual messages. But my question here to you today, folks, is are you going within? Are you going within? Are you listening to that inner voice that validates the claims that somebody on the internet is making to you about your personal life? Are you using tarot in a way that empowers you to bring your best to the table each day? Is tarot combined in a healing modality with other things that may help you, like a healthy diet perhaps, whatever it is for you that gets you going? Is it combined in a way that builds on your character rather than takes away from it or creates a paranoia? Well, Greg said that something's coming, so where is it? It's got to be here. Where is my blessing? Where is my love? So we're waiting, and I've said this to you guys so many times on the channel. We've had this very delicate discussion so many times on the channel about, we're asking where it is, but listen, when that mental health starts coming into our brains, right? When we start being severely affected by the messages that we're receiving in contrast to what our own intuition is saying, we often are left with nothing. In fact, maybe paranoia, right? So if that paranoia is in that energy, we see the Nine of Swords coming out, right? We see the Eight of Swords coming out. Okay? So when you're wanting to attract, when you're wanting to live in a state of abundance, you got to be able to find where you're abundant now. Life is certainly not always a box of chocolates for us. I hear from you guys all of the time, I don't know where my break is. I don't know when my moment is. I'm feeling crazy. I'm feeling alone. I'm feeling lost in my own circumstances, right? I'm feeling like nobody will ever love me. I hear this from so many people, and I have to admit to you that, of course, as a human being, my mental health also is at play when it comes to these very same things. So what do? I watch my colleagues online, and I watch plenty of tarot card readings. I try to receive these messages. So when I find something that resonates, I have a wonderful friend, Court, from a channel called A Mystical Moment. She's very lovely. I will often resonate with her. She's one of my readers, She's somebody that I really respect in the community, and I really love to speak with her. I love to be a friend of hers. We may have a collaboration coming as well soon. But when a message of hers resonates with me, then I have to integrate it. I have to integrate the message into how that affects me in my daily life. Folks, an estimated 16.2 million adults in the US alone has had at least one major depressive episode in their life. They've dealt with severe anxiety, depression. Let's look at that statistic again. This is also by the National Institute of Mental Health. 16.2 million adults in the US. That's New York twice. People have had depression. People have dealt with anxiety. I know that you guys are coming to these readings because of this very thing. You're looking for something. You're out there searching on your path. You're looking for a message. You're looking to hear that the love of your life is coming. You're looking to hear that the career path that you've always wanted to be involved in is going to offer you the position of your dreams. You want to hear these things. Honey, I want to hear these things too. Right? I also want to hear wonderful messages from the universe. Now, the universe is very affording in that it does give us some of them sometimes, right? If you've ever, sorry, I just burped while I was drinking the tea, so it kind of came out. I do so many personal readings for you folks, and I connect with so many of you on a daily basis, and I see that there is a lot of anxiety and a lot of mental health that plays into what it is that you would like to see in your life. Some of you guys are feeling really hopeless, especially during this retrograde. I'm getting emails from you all the time. You know, I try to respond when I can, of course. But you guys know how busy my freaking life is. So we have so many, every single human being on planet Earth has to have a good relationship to mental health. Now, based off of the circumstances of our lives, certainly all of our lives aren't the same. Some of you watching this video could have nowhere to live. Perhaps you're watching it from a cafe on Wi-Fi. Some of you folks are in the process of leaving a love that you've had for a long time in your life. So, our circumstances are all different. However, our anxiety, in some way, shape, or form, has to be a priority in the integration of who we are in our own identity. Or, folks, we're simply not attracting. We have simply turned our switch off. And I have noticed over this retrograde that there's a lot of blocked energy for some of you. I'm seeing it in a lot of signs right now. Just an incredible blockage of energy. It's like the universe is saying to so many signs during this retrograde, here it is, Gemini. Here it is, Virgo. 2 signs specifically that are dealing with this very thing. Here is what you want, but here's the work that must be done. When we are living in the when is it coming, when is it coming, where is it, maybe somebody has a message for me, I need to know what to do, I'm never going to figure this out, I'm never going to get to where I'm going. When we live here, we attract not. Right, because this is just simply the law of attraction. This is very simple. We can see this manifested in our physicality every day of our lives. But we have to integrate this in our spirituality as well. So, one of the biggest mental health concerns of mine in having this channel and keeping this dialogue open with you, especially when we're reading intense energies for some of you that you're experiencing like twin flame and soulmate relationships. It's rampant, folks, and I know that some of you guys, if you are watching this video and it's resonating and that makes you feel like, I'm so sorry, the camera, I'm so sorry, folks. I'm so sorry. These are the troubles of live feeds. If you are one of the people that are watching this video and you're resonating with this and you're saying, oh God, maybe I do have love addiction, and you're gonna click away from this, or you're not gonna watch this because you don't wanna see something important, please do not click away. Please stay on the channel. Please sit here with us for a minute. Let's have a conversation, because I know, hey Kristen, when we look at the critical parts of our existence, we begin to manifest abundance, okay? So, once again, the biggest, most rampant issue I see in soulmate relationships, twin flame connections, is love addiction in comparison to love avoidance, okay? So what exactly is love addiction? What is this? What does it mean when we are addicted to love? Now, for so many of us, this comes from many different circumstances, normally rooted in behavioral development, okay? So as we are young and as we're moving into our adult lives, for some of us, we've had a lot of severe trauma. We may have had a parent that was not active or present in our lives. There are tons of circumstances into which can segue us into love addiction. Perhaps we have a narcissistic type that we're constantly attracted to. Usually, once again, from some sort of behavioral blip in us getting older, in us growing into our skin, in us growing into our identity, our sexuality. For many of us, love addiction is based around sexual assault. Many of us have been sexually assaulted, and now we have some sort of almost sick attraction to love that does not complete itself, to love that does not work out. We find ourselves chasing people. Love avoidance. So for people who have been dealt with severe psychological trauma, once again, this does not have to be based around assault. We find that they become love addicted. Now, the reason I can talk to you so much about this is because I am a recovering love addict. Certainly not on the other end. It's a daily process showing up to the recovery of love addiction. But I have had similar, very traumatic psychological experiences in life that through the years created me only attracting partners. Oh my God! Guys, I'm so sorry. it's just gonna have to be this way today. You're just gonna have to, you're just gonna have to work with me here. I'll just scoot back a little. Ah! Guys, this is so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm a mess today. I've been at work all day. So, I'm so sorry. You guys know that my life is never excitingly professional. So anyway, we become love addicted. I became aware of my love addiction well into my 20s, and had to do a lot of work. It caused a lot of psychological pain. For many of you, you guys know that I'm an artist as well. I'm a singer-songwriter, and the majority of my life has been based around songwriting. I've toured the better part of the US. I've been lucky enough to play in a rock and roll band that did incredible things. I'm lucky in my life. However, as an artist and a creator, there was once again love addiction present. For me, specifically, because I was drudging this up and I was writing about the experiences I was having with partners, which was creating awful anxiety around the love that I thought that I deserved. So what I was living in was a perpetual state of discommitment. I was chasing people that were love avoidance because I was so hungry for it, right? So as love addicts, we find ourselves searching for something because we're so hungry to know what it feels like, right? We're so hungry to know what it feels like to be embraced in a gorgeous intimacy. We want to attract a soulmate relationship. We want to find or awaken ourselves to this idea of twin flame. We want to live in union and in partnership, right? So we come on the internet and we sometimes feed our love addiction. Not attract it. We don't integrate the message. We simply use it to perpetuate an addiction. Many, you know, as an artist growing up over the many years, there were a lot of addictions that were present in my life. And once again, this can be an addiction in any sort of way. As a musician and an artist working with a lot of people in the world, playing in different clubs every night, I had severe addictions growing up that had based in traumas, right? So I became addicted to food, and I developed an awful eating disorder. A lot of addictions became at play in my life personally. Things I don't normally share with you, you know, the past of before this channel started and what my life was like, which was very adventurous, and there's a big story out there. One day I'll tell you all of it, but you know, I really had so many addictions that were present in my life. So while I was looking for answers, I was doing the same thing that you were doing. So I was going onto the internet and looking. Certainly, something must be coming. And then they would say to me on these readers on these channels, Scorpio, you're in love right now. Oh my God. And I'm thinking, the hell are y'all talking about? I'm miserable right now. I'm alone right now. This shit don't resonate with me. So the energies were there, afforded to me to be able to foster intimacy and romance. And as the sweet Empress would do, attract this into my life. Or I could not use those messages critically, and I could perpetuate a very bad cycle, each time being more hateful of myself in the process. Look at me. Obviously, I'm not enough. If I were enough, someone would be here. If I were a great singer, I would have a Billboard hit. If I were beautiful, somebody would already love me. So I must not be beautiful. So I must not be talented. So I must not be worthy of receiving the love that everybody else around me has. You know, I can't remember which sign it was for this month, but I was doing a reading for a sign, and in my head as I was doing the reading, I pictured somebody walking through a city and looking at all of the happy couples hand in hand and thinking, where is that for me? It was just this moment of feeling so sorry. It might have been one of the water signs, maybe Cancer or Pisces. I can't remember, but so when we're on these YouTube channels, are we using this, probably Cancer, are we using this to fuel a love addiction, or are we using it to integrate the message into what we can bring to the table? Many love addicts believe, maybe not even consciously, that if they are loved by someone exactly the way that they want to be loved, they will then be complete. Now, this is just simply not the truth. Once again, if you want to click away from this video, I strongly suggest you do not, if you feel that you resonate with this. You see, the Empress has come out for so many folks lately, and it is a gorgeous energy, let me be very clear. But this is about attraction, attracting the mystery of what is. This is an inherently feminine card. So in healing modalities, when we're dealing with things like love addiction, we must channel our feminine here. And this is for men and women. This is not gender specific. I'm talking about the feminine energy that is inherently in 22 watches at 222. That is inherently within all of us. This feminine power, this feminine energy that exists in us. The integration of this. See, sometimes we are using the feminine part of us when we are in love addiction. We're objectifying somebody else, right? Because when we love someone so much, we're actually objectifying them. They're an object of what we crave. So we come onto the internet to look for messages in order for us to hear validation. Oh, we got the Ace of Cups here, you know. Definitely true love coming in for you guys. Oh, we got the Lovers here. It's definitely looking that way for you. So then we think, oh, here it is. I'm gonna wait for it. It's coming. I'm gonna wait for it. It's coming. I'm gonna wait for it. It's coming. And how many times has it perhaps passed you by already? Love addiction. So what is love avoidant? Many of us know in the classic twin flame energy that there is a step in the process of the chasing and the running. Now, when we are in authentic, actual twin flame relationships, it would be very, very, very good if you are working with a twin flame counselor in order to be sure that you are in one. Once again, love addiction. Are we over mystifying it? Are we really experiencing a win-win connection? Big question. So, and I saw a question here, the Ace of Cups is actually about self, yes, but it can often indicate falling in love in many scenarios based off of the cards that it's around. However, regardless of what the energy is coming in, there is a big question here, folks, of what are you doing with it? This is a very big question. What are you doing with it? Are you in a twin flame relationship right now? Are you dealing with a love avoidant? So what is a love avoidant? Anybody have any idea what a love avoidant perhaps might be? Probably the opposite of love addict. Often, when we're dealing in twin flame relationships, we do have a love avoidant. Somebody who is probably, once again, based off of a developmental level, how they were raised, the kind of nuclear environments they were in a family. They perhaps may have been very smothered. They perhaps have less of a sense of identity than someone who may be a love addict, who puts so much work into the idea of the identity itself. A love avoidant would rather not deal with these things. They would rather not integrate the intense energies that they feel with particular connections that they are in. A love avoidant may have been severely smothered as a young person, right? So they're not looking for it. In fact, even when they're in committed relationships, for many love avoidants, this is a survival mechanism. Many of us deal with love avoidance. Some of you watching the channel right now may be love avoidant. Antithesis of the codependent. That's very correct. Right? So somebody that is a love avoidant perhaps may not have a self-secured identity. They may perhaps. They just may be very, very single and very cool with it. But often we see a blip in identity when we're talking about somebody running away from something. It's very similar to clinging. You know, I'm thinking about another video I did referencing the salamander. You guys are probably still watching those right now, so you probably haven't even seen it yet. Don't forget, for those of you watching, that mid-months did go up this month. Are you so proud of me for doing mid-months? Look at me. I'm putting out more content. Look at me. So, I want to talk to you guys for a minute about, for those of you that are love addicts and are experiencing this, you're looking for help. We're looking for ways that we can learn how to integrate. There is a wonderful woman named Pia Mellody, Piamellody. She wrote a really wonderful book that I adore. It's called Facing Love Addiction: Giving Yourself the Power to Change the Way You Love. She also has another wonderful book, The Intimacy Factor: The Ground Rules for Overcoming the Obstacles to Truth, Respect, and Lasting Love. Pia Mellody is wonderful. For those of you that don't know of her, you should certainly research her. She is a wonderful counselor helping people overcome love addiction in order to really manifest lasting intimacies that are mutual and connective. Also, she works with us a lot on how to deal with love avoidance. If we are in love with somebody that is a love avoidant, how can we foster intimate connection while also focusing on our own addiction? So I would certainly recommend Pia for anything that you're interested in. Also, Dr. Gabor Mate wrote a wonderful book that I would like to give a shout out to. It's called In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts: Close Encounters with Addiction. Now, Dr. Gabor prefaces a lot of different addiction, and quite frankly, addiction in general. So any of you that are going through drug addictions, alcohol addictions, love addictions, food addictions, any of you experiencing eating disorders, any of you experiencing perhaps gender identity addictions or any kind of thing, or confusion within gender identity, Dr. Gabor Mate is wonderful. You should definitely check him out. I will post all of that information in the description box if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that, but if I can, I will. So these are a couple folks that I really want you guys to check out. I think that they would be really helpful. How can we mend love addiction? How can we fix love addiction? For many of you, I want to be very honest. I think that fixing love addiction is, for the tarot card community, is based around not consuming so much tarot card readings. I believe the messages start to get jumbled in there. I believe you're going to resonate with some stuff. I believe you're going to resonate with a lot of readers consistently, maybe not always. You know, we don't know what energies that we're picking up on here when we're reaching out for them. However, when we're dealing with love addiction, what are ways that we can foster healthy intimacy with ourselves? Kate, you're on fire today. I'm loving past life regression is a wonderful tool as well. For those of you that are interested, there are some wonderful counselors. I can, if you email me, I'll send you some links for some wonderful past life counselors that I've worked with personally. But it is bringing a balance into our spiritual community of mental health. Understanding that our connection to ourself is so integral in manifesting the things that we desire in the world, particularly in the area of love and romance. Guys, I'll be honest, I love to do these readings for you, and I love to, you know, read these romance energies, you know, and often I do hear things from you. Wow, you know, energies are coming in. This is great news. I'm really happy to hear this from you guys. But you have to understand, I hear from a lot of people, I don't know if I'm just broken, or if I'm not a part of the system, or if the karmic law has abandoned me. No, my friend. No, my friend. The karmic law has not abandoned you, but if there are addictions or mental health concerns that are present, it's very important that we're active participants in the healing that is required in order to move forward in our lives. So, in reference to these things, if we are dealing with love addiction, there are wonderful healing modalities that can bring us back into a balance with our lives. Some of those things that I use in recovery are morning affirmation. I know some of you are saying, oh, bullshit, this stuff sounds stupid, but I'm serious. Really give it a chance. One of those things was morning affirmations. Sometimes they're very honorable in the morning. I'm graceful. I'm kind. I'm breathing that shit in. I am beautiful. I'm radiating my life. I'm out here doing this shit. I am gonna attract wonderful things into my life. Sometimes they're silly. I'm not gonna tell this bitch at the supermarket to quit hitting her kid, even though I probably still will. You know, I'm not going to be unkind. right? I set my intentions. Well, another wonderful thing, guys, is the chemicals that are in your body when it comes to your cortisol and your serotonin levels. Folks, if you are eating a rotten diet, if you're consuming a lot of drugs, if you're consuming a lot of alcohol, if you're consuming a lot of over the table drugs sometimes, or even some of the drugs that you're eating, if you have a bad relationship to your body, obviously your mind is an appendage of your body as well. This is going to take effect. Some of our addictions can be literally critically kickstarted by the way that we eat. Now, I'm not telling you to eat cucumbers and lettuce all day every day and be a vegan or anything. You know, veganism is awesome, but, you know, you don't have to do that. I am telling you to take care of yourself, though. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that your body needs you to pay attention. This is a wonderful healing modality. Many of you guys know that I'm a yoga junkie. I'm a yoga teacher sometimes when I feel like it. I'm an avid meditator. I'm an active participant in my spiritual health, which then trickles and segues into my mental health. Now, let me be very clear. I don't want to paint any facades. I don't want to paint any fake pictures here. I struggle very seriously with mental health. I struggle very seriously with love addiction. I attract love avoidance a lot in my life. I'm still a recovering addict from those kinds of things. I'm still recovering from eating disorders in my life. I'm still learning my ropes around health. I don't have good days every day. I certainly have dark, very, very dark moments that I do not share with you guys. I want us to be very clear. We can talk about this with each other. That's what this channel has always been about to me. It has always been about our ability to have integral, real, critical communication with each other, and we always have. I want you to know that on this channel, your mental health matters. You can talk about this. Now, also I want to say, if you're struggling with suicidal ideation or something like this, I really would recommend you reach out to a mental health professional who can give you the true care that you need, of course. I would recommend all of you dealing with mental health to always see a health practitioner and make sure that you are, you know, hey, science ain't evil, my friends. It's very good for us. We've learned a lot as humans in our progression and evolution. We should utilize these wonderful tools at our disposal. But I am telling you that you need to have healing modality. You need to show up to yourself. You know, I'll ask people all of the time, what is the #1 thing that gives you the most pain about your love addiction? And people will always say to me, the fact that my brain cannot remove a person from it, or the loss of a person. The fact that my brain literally is in a hotbed of grappling with the same person, the thought of them, the punctuation of their last message, the overlooking into things, the using the messages from the tarot to collaborate with our own experiences and then try to psych ourselves into thinking that something that could perhaps not be true. So sometimes we are pushing our delusions. Guys, sometimes we aren't. Sometimes we are in really great connections, and the energy that's being afforded here is important. So having these healing modalities and moving into this place of grand healing is not an overnight process, guys. Is not an overnight process. You're not going to wake up resolved. You might wake up tomorrow with a little more fire in your belly, and I'll guarantee you after you do those morning stretches, you're going to feel a lot more awake. Have your morning coffee and ground. Root yourself into the freaking ground. Get yourself ready for what's happening out there. But have a control of the thoughts that are trickling in and out. In my own experience with healing from love addiction and with dealing with a lot of love avoidant people, I've had to take a critical look at my own identity. I was inspired to do this Q&A today, and I'm about to get to the Q's, by the way. But I was inspired to do this today because of Hedwig, really. I had been, as you guys know, busting my ass for this character. For those of you that are familiar with Hedwig and the Angry Inch, you know that it is a very, very, very big show. There's a lot of mental health that's at play here with this show. I did method acting, so I ended up accidentally unlocking some really deep subconscious trauma from my past. I've been experiencing some pretty intense PTSD, lately because of the show. My body's been going into full-on spasm. It's very, very painful, and I will lay there for up to 30 minutes in writhing pain. So I have been doing therapy 3 days a week to work on this and to try to help with this. And I realized, of course, after the show, my therapist saying, "Hey, Greg, I think that Hedwig might have really unlocked some subconscious trauma." I was, you know, you guys don't know a lot about me, and I haven't really expressed a lot of my own experiences to you. I don't know that that's necessary here in our connection to one another, but 10 years ago, I was in a relationship with someone who committed suicide. I was also sexually assaulted the year before. And I've had a lot of traumas in my life in the music business, eating disorders that erupted from trying to fit into an image of what people were expecting me to be or look like or say or act like. And I really got lost in love addiction. So in my own personal experience, lately, as I've been listening to some podcasts and working on coming back into this balance, you know, as spring rolls around and the flowers start blooming out of the ground and the leaves start growing on the trees, this is a wonderful time to start thinking about the new cycles that are afforded us. In so many ways, especially for us in the Northeast, this is kind of like our new year because we're excited to come outside again. You guys remember I used to always do my readings outside. Solari Tarot, it was how the whole channel was inspired, by the sun and the nature. So I just sit outside and let the cars pass by. So it brings us to this, to my closing point here in this wonderful conversation. You guys, this energy, the Empress, the reason, you know, I had been doing readings. I don't do a lot of readings on myself. Most of my subscribers that have been a part of the channel for a while know this. I actually don't really read for myself very often, but I have been pulling 3 cards in the morning for myself, and over the last many mornings, the Empress had been coming out. So I knew that this was a cue to check into my feminine. After Hedwig, some of my personal, romantic, intimate relationships, there was some drama around those, and I was really face-to-face with my own demon of, you know, I'm, of course, experiencing a twin flame experience for the very first time in my life. I've always been very skeptical of these things, still really am. But so this love avoidance, love addiction conversation really needed to be had. I really resonated with talking to you guys about this on the channel because I want you to understand that it's okay for you to have this or experience this. It does not mean that the person that you love you can't have. It simply means that you are basing too much on someone else. So it brings us to this energy, the Empress. I know that there's something going on in the comments here. I'm about to check it out. Guys, the Empress is an archetype of feminine power. She's watery. She's mysterious. She's hard to fathom. She's fertile. She's abundant. She is attracting. She is attraction. When we see the Empress in our tarot card readings, often we do see that someone is attracting or having children or making families. But this is always a commentary on the divine feminine. The love addict. Our intuition. The Empress is our patron card right now, and for those of you that are dealing with love addiction, I want you to do a lot of research on the Empress card. I want you to look out for her in your readings with other readers as well. The Empress is an important thing, and if you're watching this video, it's because there's a reason that you're watching this video. Your intuition matters. Please make sure that when you come on YouTube and you start looking into these tarot card readers, that you are not just following their intuition, their message. Please follow your own. And if you feel that you're struggling with love addiction, please do not be afraid to take steps to having a healing modality to fix these kinds of issues. You know, this is about wealth and richness and abundance and love and compassion. Standing in our own identity. It can be a hard thing to do. Listen to me. You guys know, on this channel, I've tried to keep a no bullshit policy with you here. I don't want to bullshit you. I want to get real. I want to get critical. I want to talk about really important things that are really important. Love addiction is one of those, and it's rampant in the tarot community. You do not have to be ashamed if you're dealing with any kind of addiction for anybody watching this video at any time. If you're dealing with a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction, whatever it is, you know, I have caught myself going to so many different places of addiction in order to fix a problem that I'm only numbing myself out from. Love addiction is the same way. It's all the same. So I want to make sure that we have a healthy relationship to one another here on this channel specifically. You know, I don't know about other channels. I don't know about what you do when you go to other channels. I don't know what these people are talking about over there. But I want to make sure that we're fostering very healthy connections, very healthy relationships, ones that last. I hope that we're attracting abundance, that we're attracting what we really need. And sometimes that means getting ourselves out of a place of love addiction and working on a process of recovery in order to understand why we want something and not objectify the person that we think we want so much. And understanding what are the underlying tones, what are the devils under the detail, so to speak, of why we're looking for something, why we're looking, you know, why do you want love? This is a big question. I ask myself it all of the time. Why do you want it, Greg? And then I'll think I've found it, right? Many times I'm wrong. Many times I'm wrong. But I have learned strongly that my own healing comes from my own ability to work through my own trauma. Somebody, guys, I know you want, somebody may come in and they may sweep you off your feet. And they might be romantic as shit. But no one is going to fix you. No one is going to heal the trauma. You're gonna gravitate to the people into which the trauma was, people like the people that the trauma was originally induced by, until you are motivated to overcome the trauma. Does that make sense? So I hope I've inspired you to overcome the trauma. I love you guys very much, and I love that we can have these conversations. I'm going to be doing more of them. I would like to take some questions. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Love addiction, mental health in the tarot community? Anybody have any comments? Anything they'd like to talk about here? I don't have a deck of tarot, so I can't tell you who the love of your life is today. Queen of Wands, you're always welcome. Tennessee, Kate. I'm not far from you. I'm in West Virginia. West Virginia, USA right now is where I'm coming from. You can tell from the paint coming off the ceiling on the porch here. We're rednecks. All right, do we have any questions at all? Or are we feeling good about love addiction? Hello, Bluebird. Thank you, Lisa. I love you guys. I do, for anybody waiting for personal readings, those are, I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 of you maybe left. Kirsten, I know. Now, wait. Kirsten, are you in Bluefield? That's amazing. Kirsten, are you in New Zealand? I think you are, right? Thank you, Kate. Thank you so much. No, I'm not pulling any cards today for you guys, folks. Oh, Kirsten, listen, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know that there's a lot of trauma going on in New Zealand right now. I'm very happy to see, however, that your government seems to be approaching it very quickly and very efficiently. That's wonderful. Sometimes Jacob is thinking about his ex. He's not sure he wants her back. Any advice? Jacob, it's important to come from a place of knowing whether you're dealing with a love addiction or whether you are just still simply having some trouble letting a connection go. Sometimes the connection's not over, even if we don't want somebody back, to be quite frank. So I would, once again, work on deep breathing. I would work on staying in the moment. Okay, let's see these comments here. Sorry, guys. How does my skin look today? But listen, don't let your ex drive you into anxiety. Thanks, Rosa. I will talk to you soon, honey. Love on Kirsten and everybody in New Zealand. We love you. Solari Tarot. We love you guys. What else do we have here? Kathy, can you be both love avoidant and love addicted depending on the person involved? You certainly can be both love avoidant and love addicted at different times in your life, right? There could be moments in your life where trauma has forced you into a place of love avoidancy or love addiction, and a particular connection, yes, can have themes of now I'm running, now I'm chasing. We actually see this a lot in relationships when there's not a direct communication or when there are emotions that are being held back from two people. But yes, you can, I wouldn't say you can be love avoidant and addicted at the same time, right? Because if you're avoiding somebody that you love, you still love them. And you're avoiding them because of an anger around the fact that they won't give you what you want. So that's love addiction. Let's see what else we have. Nice. Hey, Greg. I freaking love you, Kate. I freaking love you a lot. Yes, courtesy of a mystical moment. You guys have to check out Court if you don't check out her channel. I'll be collaborating with her hopefully this month. We're going to do a cool, like, dual tarot card, 2 tarot card readers in a reading. Isn't that cool? I've never seen anyone do that. Maybe people do it, but I feel that it's awesome. So Courtney is awesome. She's a good friend of mine. You guys, if you watch Courtney's videos, you know that she is just so unfiltered, right? Like, she does not give a shit. Like, she's talking to her kids about pizza. I watched her video the other day. She was saying, just feed the last piece of pizza to the rats. They love pizza, you know? She don't give a shit, but she's wonderful, and she's a good friend of mine. She's the same way on the phone or texting. She's just her, unapologetically herself. I love her so much. So Kathy, you're usually love avoidant, but now you're all hung up on somebody. Dueling tarot cards. Is that like Howl at the Moon, but tarot? Guys, my iPad might die here in a second, so I'm going to answer questions until it dies. It's on 5%, so. But it all worked out here, so. Okay, folks, I'm actually going to go, because I don't want it to, I don't know if it'll upload if it dies, so. I love you so much. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please do not be afraid to reach out to me for any sessions you may have on the healing readings for love avoidancy, for love addiction. If you're experiencing these things and they're becoming a very important part of your mental health that needs direct attention, I would like to recommend that you reach out to your local the local resources you have in your community to combat your own mental health. Do not be afraid of speaking your truth. Do not be afraid of not being perfect. The Empress attracts what she wants, and you need to do that too. But you're going to have to forgive yourself, and you're going to have to start an active process of recovery to bring this into your life, okay? I love you guys. Please make sure to check out the books. Kirsten, thank you for tuning in. We're sending all the love to you in New Zealand. If you're watching this video, comment for Kirsten today. We love you. All of you Empresses out there, as Kate says. All you Empresses, we love you. We're sending love. We're sending love to New Zealand. Nobody in the world condones what happened there. We love you so much, Kirsten. We're always with you. I'm so sorry. Kudos to your leader, though, for pulling it together. It's happening in America so quickly. So much. And it only happened there once, and you guys are taking accurate steps to see that it doesn't happen again, and I appreciate that very much. Folks, thank you for tuning into this channel. Always bring mental health to the table in the spiritual community. Always make sure that your own voice resonates with the message that you're receiving, even if it's something you don't want to hear, okay? Don't be afraid to walk your path, because if you walk it unapologetically, bravely, like the Empress, your Emperor's coming, honey. I promise. That's just the way this shit works. Folks, I love you. I love you, and I'll see you.